Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Elizabeth and I am an intern for the Marion County Public Health Department. And by tuning in to today's video lesson, you have taken the initiative to learn about your health. Today's topic is going to be all about alternative meat options. So you might have heard the phrase Meatless Monday. It's a recent campaign that people are doing to cut out meat once a week from their diet completely. Going meatless once a week can be a great way to add protein to your diet while decreasing your amount of trans fats, which is a lesson that I've previously done if you want to click in the YouTube link. Did you guys know that red meat has a higher amount of trans fats and can actually increase your risk of heart disease? But don't worry, there are a lot of alternative meat options out there for those who are trying to reduce their meat intake, whether it be for the environment or for your own health. As I said before, we're going to talk a little bit about food and diet and how cutting out meat once a week can actually be super great for your body's health. I'm going to put a visual in the description that you guys can check out. It's just got a couple of really cool facts on it about Meatless Monday and what it means. So today we're going to talk about the importance of protein just a little bit. So if you don't know, protein is an important component of every cell in our body. It builds muscle, bones, cartilage, and skin. It also repairs tissues, aids in digestion, and regulates the entire body. So everybody needs protein. It's especially important for growing kids, but every protein in our body has an output of some sort. So if you think about it, hair, nails, skin, our organs, how we eat, it basically does something for every part of our body. Did you know that protein can actually help your body breathe? A protein called hemoglobin actually carries oxygen through the body and allows us to breathe it out. So what kind of meat alternatives are available? You might be asking yourself, what even is a meat alternative? Well, a meat alternative is anything that replaces meat in a diet that is not actually meat. Meat alternatives can include soy products, tofu, bean burgers, meatless proteins. The list is very, very long. There are many categories to these meat alternatives, and the categories are dairy-based, legume-based or beans, fruit-based, and fungi-based. And you may want to even consider replacing meat with just beans for one meal or whole wheat grains. You don't always have to replace meat with a fake meat product. You can always just add a couple of beans to your diet and call it a day. Even cutting out meat once a week can have an amazing impact on overall health and risk of heart disease. So what can specifically cutting out meat do for your body? Well, eating less meat can reduce the risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and even cancers. But remember that meat is an important source of protein as long as it is eaten in moderation. And typically Americans do eat a little bit too much meat during the week, which is why Meatless Monday is such a great initiative to start. So as I've said before, and you'll hear it again, eating a healthy, balanced diet is a great way to ensure the proper amount of protein and fat in our diet. And if you're wondering how to visualize what kind of portions we need and how much of each of the food groups, My Plate is a great resource for understanding portion control and variety. I will put a link in the description for a My Plate visual just so you guys can get a great idea as to what it looks like. We're going to talk about how fruit and vegetables should be eaten every single day, and leaning on these foods can actually cut down on trans fats and cholesterol. By decreasing your meat intake, it can actually lower the amount of fat in your diet. So amongst you guys, I want you guys to just do a little bit of a brainstorm and talk about how you can replace meat once a week for dinner or lunch. And if you guys are doing that with your family and you always have a meal on Monday it's just your go-to Monday meal, maybe you guys could talk about how to replace that meat product with something like beans or maybe fried tofu or like something a little bit more appealing to young kids like Tofurkey, which is a really interesting product. Okay, now that you guys know a little bit about meat and proteins and what cutting it out of your diet once a week can do, we're going to go do a little bit of activity, and it does mean that you need to have access to internet service, so go to the link in the description, watch this quick TED Talk, which is super interesting and very educational, and I want you guys to complete these discussion questions, which will also be in the description of the video, but I will say them now just for the sake of time. I want you to discuss these questions with each other. How does beef and meat relate to plant-based proteins? Do you guys think that plant-based proteins are something that you guys would enjoy eating? And what meals can you sub out plant-based proteins for? I also want you guys to talk a little bit about what you learned from the video, my video and the one in the link in the description. Do you guys think meat is always an unhealthy choice? And what is one meal at home that you guys could easily make meatless? And the last question I want to leave you guys with is, do you think that going meatless one day a week is something that is possible? And do you guys think it's a challenge that you're willing to take on? Alright guys, today we have talked about the importance of food groups in maintaining good health. Meat is an important aspect of diet, but it must be eaten in moderation, just like everything. There are many alternative meats available out there, so you guys could do a little bit of research on that if you're curious. And each day for good health, we should eat a variety of foods from each of the food groups. Two groups that we want to emphasize the most in our diets are fruit and vegetables, just because Americans typically don't get enough. We should try to eat more of these foods every single day, and by eating more of these and utilizing portion control, cutting out meat once a week from the diet does not have to be life-changing whatsoever. I also want to throw in the link for the recipe at the bottom of this description in the YouTube video. It is a recipe for sweet potato chili. It is delicious. I've actually made this myself. It is easy and cheap, and it is something that is typically made with meat, but takes little effort to just throw in some sweet potatoes there instead of your regular beef, or maybe you make turkey chili, whatever. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for tuning in.